Hello, and thanks for tuning in to the Biomass Magazine podcast. I am your host, Anna Simet. We are here live at the International Biomass Conference and Expo in Atlanta. I am here with Kevin Desjardins, Sales Engineered Solutions at Keith Manufacturing Company. Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks for having me.
We are absolutely thrilled to have you. So why don't we start by having you tell our viewers about Keith and what it is that you guys do there.
So Keith Manufacturing is a material handling company. We deal largely in bulk materials, hard to manage materials, large tonnage, not so much pounds, but hard to manage tonnage that needs to be moved downstream to operations.
Okay. So let's just dig right into things. What are the key design considerations for adapting walking floor bins to handle diverse alternative fuels?
So there's several things to think about in the design of a Keith walking floor bin.
Mm-hmm.
Material density is one, and really it's what is it you're looking to do with it. Are you looking at your project? Are you bringing material in, dumping it on the ground, where you may need, let's say, a loader-fed bin design to help process it downstream? Are you bringing material in on the Keith walking floor, where you want to put it in a walking floor storage kind of buffer bin and move material that way? Or are you looking for large storage capacity of, 300, 400, 500 tons for your material? So those considerations kind of all come into play with that, and you can use combinations of that too. I mean, you could start off with a loader-fed bin, add a storage bin to that, kind of increasing what your capacity is moving on, and then kind of keep moving in that direction and see what your next needs are.
Okay. So, Kevin, how do fuel properties like density, moisture content, flow characteristics influence bin sizing and component selection?
That's a great question, Anna. Those properties are really need to take into consideration. For instance, a hog fuel bin, tire chip bin is going to look completely different than, let's say, a sawdust bin. For instance, if you're moving bagasse in there, you may want to be using exotic metals like stainless steel, those type of things, because of the acidic properties that are in that. If you're using hog fuels, maybe tire chips, maybe you're looking at more of steel overlay on the floor slats, because of the abrasiveness factor of that in there. Again, how much material do you want to move downstream, your tonnage per hour, how much do you want to store, the different zonings in that area. For instance, is it a Div 2, Class 2 area where you maybe have some explosion properties that you have to think about different components and those type of thoughts as you move through it. So yeah, all those things kind of come into play, but really it comes back to what are you trying to achieve and what are you trying to do. And so just through dialogue and understanding their process, and as you know, Anna, they're always the best to know, right? They're experts at what they're doing and what they're doing. So there's no sense going in there trying to reinvent the wheel of how they want to do it.
Yeah.
Just trying to get to the end goal with them.
That makes sense. So can you discuss the role of accessories like spike rolls and leveling augers in maintaining consistent material flow and preventing blockages?
Oh, you're relentless. Yeah, no, those are great. So, for instance, like the leveling screw, for instance, it really takes care of the bin depth in there. So as you're filling the bin, let's say a storage bin, and you're using a leveling screw in there, as that material reaches the apex, that leveling screw is knocking down the top of that pile, moving it down behind that other one. And what it's really doing is filling every little void that's possible inside that bin, whether it's a combination of one leveling screw, two leveling screws, all going to depend on the width of the bin. But what's really going to happen with that is it allows the opportunity for the first material to come into your bin to be the first material to leave your bin. The first in, first out, so to speak. So, so that's kind of the thought process with the leveling screw, using it in our bins. The other thought on that is if you're filling it toward the front of the bin and you're moving it toward the back of the bin, and the material is coming back out through the discharge end, you're not having to move material as far. With the spike rolls, what we're really trying to do with the spike rolls, so if you can imagine, let's say a pile of 10, 15, 20-foot material, and it's starting to settle, and it's moving out toward the discharge end. Those spike rolls are what they're doing is just re-agitating that pile, right? We're kind of breaking it up, fluffing it up, trying to keep that knitted material broken up so that it can flow down into our discharge screw. Our discharge screw there is going to be able to, manage that material a lot easier, help with the reaching the tons out per hour that's needed for that. And then, we have the access doors for maintenance, inlet hatches, those type of things that all go along with what the company's really looking to achieve with it. Again, goes back to number one. What are they looking for? That's where it all starts.
Okay, so how does the location of the material inlet impact the capacity of the storage bin?
So I touched base on that. If you're filling on the discharge end and you got your angle of repose and you're dragging it to the back, as soon as material is starting to be filled into the bin, you can start processing it out of it. If you were to fill it toward the back of the bin and try and move it forward, let's say you had a 40-foot bin and you were moving it a foot per minute, and you may be looking at 35, 40 minutes before you can start taking your material and discharging. So again, it's those, little subtleties of looking at how you want to fill that, what you're trying to achieve in those directions.
Okay. So, Kevin, in light of increasing environmental regulations and fuel source fluctuations, how do these adaptable storage designs contribute to long-term plant efficiencies?
It's really the versatility of it. If you're looking at a project and your fuel source, let's say, is wood chips, and you're at a certain density, and it ends up becoming, in 5 or 10 years, that source is gone, but now your source is for material that density's doubled. Does that bin have the capacity to move that material and deliver that same amount of tons out per hour that you need? Or can it get scaled back so you're moving less tonnage out because the density's higher? All those little adaptations, if you will, is what really needs to be brought up in the beginning when you're talking to someone like myself, about a bin there, and trying to project what's going to happen in the future. You don't want to spend the capital that's needed for today's problem if you can possibly plan for tomorrow's solution, right?
Right.
So that's really what it comes down to. And our bins are very versatile. You're having those conversations up front so that you can get yourself into that position.
Good answer. So, Kevin, Keith is a great supporter of this show and the magazine. What do you most look forward to when you guys are here?
It's really the community that you guys have developed. You guys have done such a great job at this. The networking is amazing here. Being able to visit with other vendors, end users, people that you've done projects for in the past, see them, see how the success has been. It just really makes it a pleasure. It's one of the things I really look forward to every year is coming here to. You guys have really done a fantastic job in building this. It's a great opportunity for anybody that's out there looking for an opportunity, whether it's just learning from other end users, people in your industry, or just taking away the knowledge of the people that are here, that are suppliers, if you will, vendors inside this hall. There's a lot of knowledge in here, and they're willing to give it if you just ask.
Love it. Thanks for the kind words. And also, thanks for all the insight. Kevin, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just appreciate what you guys do here. I know it's a lot of work that you do every year that you put in here. Appreciate the platform that you give Keith Manufacturing, to express what we do to everybody and just to be part of, what is going on in the biomass industry.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Annie.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And to our viewers, hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.